is over, but the conversation is about to begin. It's time for the Black and Gold Rush with Travis and Ross.
Indiana 20, Iowa 13. That's your final score from Kinnick Stadium. Welcome to the Black and Gold Rush, your premier Iowa postgame call-in show from the Iowa Lottery Studios. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, on the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. If you're in your car getting ready to come home from Iowa City, start calling in now. If you're watching on YouTube, X, or even Facebook, thank you for joining us. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, start leaving your comments in the comment section. Ross, old-fashioned Big Ten football today, but as much as it was enjoyable to watch, that last drive by the Iowa Hawkeyes is just frustrating. Just frustrating on that last drive, over 2 minutes to go, and can't make anything happen.
Correction on your final score, by the way, 20-15. Final play of the game is a safety as the Indiana runs into the end zone and goes down. 20-15 the final, and Kirk Ferentz burned all 3 timeouts in the Indiana possession instead of taking some time to slow things down on that offensive drive. You got your backup quarterback in, and you're racing to the ball and firing off plays. I didn't understand that, Travis. I thought there were a couple of times that we saw that kind of classic mismanagement of the clock that we've bitched about as Hawkeye fans for a long time. This loss hurts because I didn't think – I was afraid earlier today, and even when the game started, I thought this game could get out of hand really quickly. Hawkeyes played great. They played great. And a couple mistakes end up burning this team and robbing Hawkeye fans from an amazing upset today.
515-517-2303. Let's get things started by going to the phones. Let's go to John in New Jersey. John, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. What's going on, John?
Another NIL-bought quarterback goes down with what looks like another Kinnick Stadium AstroTurf knee injury. Guys, I was like, we're out 7-0, Gronowski, Petri dish, whatever. We did that 2 weeks ago. I cannot tell you how much, listening to this game, I am so disappointed because I've had to hear for years, well, we're not going to win a national championship. Okay, well, then I'll play your game. Hey, Hawkeye fans, can you beat a college football playoff team now? Can you? I was at the Rutgers game. Needless to say, some extracurricular activities kept me from being able to actually enter the game. But I could tell that Gronowski looked like he was settling down. He was able to lead Iowa to a fourth quarter comeback. I looked forward to what was happening. But then today, just bad mental mistakes. I don't understand the clock management with Kirk Ferentz in the last 2 minutes. Players out of position. You could hear it throughout the game that there were just mental lapses on defense, players out of position, and then Gronowski goes down, and you could just feel the air come out of whatever we were battling. I'm not sure that it's a great battle when you give up almost 400 yards of total offense to Indiana, and we have less than 300. We didn't even have 100 yards rushing on the ground.
John, I get that, and don't get me wrong. I feel your frustration when it comes to the clock management.
Don't get me wrong. So why are you going to pick a bone with me?
I'm not.
John,
just calm the fuck down, dude.
Jesus, man.
Seriously, listen to me. Just listen to me. I understand your points here. Indiana only had 337 yards of total offense. When you look at Indiana's offense, I would have taken that going into the game. The truth is, Iowa exceeded my expectations.
Yes.
Exceeded my expectations.
Offensively and defensively. They lost the game, and that sucks. But, yes, they did. And the clock management was awful. You're right about that. Yep.
Yes. We're not disagreeing with your points.
Can they beat a playoff team? No. They're 0-2 against teams that might have a chance of making the playoffs.
Sorry to tick you off.
You came at it us, John.
As soon as somebody says something back to you, you blow up, dude. You gotta.
Guys,
we're your friends.
lowered expectations? Is that how we exceed our expectations? Is that because they overplayed?
No, John.
Or because they underperformed so long that we're now thinking, well, this is a good effort even in a loss?
John, we're not going to change your mind. All I'm going to say is based on what we'd seen from Iowa heading into this game and what we've seen from Indiana heading into this game, Iowa exceeded my expectations against the Hoosiers. Do we have high expectations for Iowa? Sure as hell we do. But I think a lot of us were just keep it close. Just keep it close. This team exceeded my expectations.
Thanks John. Appreciate it, man. Got calls to get to, buddy. Fernando Mendoza had completed 97% of his passes the last 2 weeks. He was 13 of 23 today.
He hadn't thrown an interception coming into this game. He threw an interception today. 515-517-2303. Let's go to North Liberty. That's where Aaron is. Aaron, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. What's going on?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good.
What's up, bud?
Hey, I appreciate you taking the call. Just a couple of points. I don't know what that was with the clock management.
Horrible.
I don't understand how. Well, absolutely, and I will expound upon that. I don't understand how a team with no timeouts went down the field the way that they did. And I mean, you could tell they had plays in a plan B and a plan C to get down to that field, and even on the blitz and reading the hot route with the recognition there. That was outstanding. That's what gives you a chance to be a Heisman candidate. And conversely, we have 3 timeouts, and we don't even use them to, at least with 1 timeout, get a couple of plays so that at least something can be ran. This team in the last 25 years has been inept in a 2-minute offense. It has been indescribably and unbelievably unacceptable at this level to do something like that. And furthermore, you know why our quarterback got hurt? You know why our quarterback got hurt? Because your quarterback should not be leading the teams in carries for an Iowa Hawkeye football team. You cannot predicate your offense on that with this skill set that he has. You can't have your quarterback leading your team in carries and then wonder why he got hurt.
Travis,
I wonder why
I said that
happened.
earlier this week, didn't I? I said
I
don't like the fact that Mark Gronowski leads the team in carries, and in fact, he leads the team in carries, and he's not an option quarterback. He's leading the team in carries by keeping plays alive a lot of times. But our offense grades out as the greatest offensive line of all time. 4 of the top linemen are the top-rated guys at their position in the nation.
And when you say an option quarterback, you would say more of a dual threat like Mendoza. Mendoza has that skill set to him.
When you lead the team in rushes and you're not an option quarterback, that's a problem.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Exactly. And that's the thing, too. When you're thinking about this just goes on the coaching. This is a direct indictment on the coaching and what has happened or has not happened or what has consistently happened to produce this product for the past 2 decades. I am so grateful for the things that have been accomplished, but this is why we are not going to have anything more than people being happy about 8 wins. And like I said, that's why I'm very skeptical that that's going to happen. And now you have a quarterback that is hurt. And thank goodness there's a bye week, but guess what? That looked more severe than a 1-week carryover. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a tough road to really go through, and people are going to start to see that. And I just, it's amazing to watch. The only word I can say is indescribable and amazing. Thank you, gentlemen. God bless. Thank you for taking the time.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it, man. Good call. People are going to talk, and a lot of people in the chat right now, and the phone lines are open at 515-517-2303. Gronowski was on the bike. He had his helmet on, Ross. He still had a little bit of a limp in him, and there may be some people going, why didn't you put him back in? And I think if you're still walking with a limp and there's a possibility that there could be more damage, you don't want to put him out there in there. I respect the fact that they said, you know what, we're not going to risk it. Now let's go back to the clock management. And I'm just going to put my head in maybe an assistant coach's brain. Don't get me wrong. These guys know 10 times more about football, 100 times more than I will. But I'm thinking, okay, why don't you call a timeout there? And I'm trying to justify it in my head. I'm like, okay, you don't want to give Indiana time to set up a defensive play, really to talk about what they want to do defensively. You want to keep them on the field. Then I go, and so then I'm like, okay, that doesn't make any sense, because if anything, you take Hank Brown, who's in a situation he's never been in a major college football game before, and you got to settle him down, man. You have to settle him down.
I mean, it was almost like you heard the announcers say the Hawkeyes are out of timeouts. And I looked down, I'm like, Hawkeyes have all 3 of their timeouts. It was almost like they forgot they had the timeouts. Frustrating, because this game
was winnable.
It's the right word for it, Travis. I don't know what it was winnable. Would have taken a lot. I thought Iowa was going to have to play nearly perfect to play against to compete with this really good Indiana football team, who was going to come in really angry. Man, the way this game started, they were far from perfect and then took control. So close. It just sucks that it ends like this. And as far as the Gronowski injury, I'm with you, Travis. I wouldn't have thought about putting him out there because he's still limping. They put that brace on him. You have no idea how much that's going to be. If he takes another hit, what that's going to do for you. I think that if Brown is the starting quarterback going forward, it could be a rough year.
Well, the good news is Iowa does have a bye week coming up, so we probably won't hear much about Mark Gronowski's injury and the severity of it. Maybe for another week.
I'm glad you just told me that. I forgot that we have a bye week next week.
Yeah, there's a bye week coming up, so that's going to buy some time to see how severe this thing is. Not to put him back in, even though he was walking, but with a limp, I think shows you there may have been a little bit of concern about it. And it wasn't like Brown was horrible. I mean, he was that last drive, he was not great. He was 5 of 13, 48 yards. He did throw the pick, but I've seen a lot of other backup quarterbacks do worse than that. Gronowski was really good in the first half. Yeah. Second half, the third quarter, nobody scored a point. I mean, it was a defensive struggle in the third quarter. Gronowski ended up 19 of 25, 144 yards, and 1 interception.
You got to be okay with that 19 of 25, Travis. That's wonderful.
I am.
That he comes out and he only has the 6 incompletions, and a few of those were just like that one to Large where he just launched. I mean, throws it 95 miles an hour and it gets to his face mask. He had a couple balls like that went through receivers' hands and hit the receiver and then bounced off of him. And add those in, it can change the game a little bit, but wonderful game from Gronowski. He played good. We've said he had played his best games. He'd played better each week, and we needed him to play better this week in order to compete with this Indiana team, and I think he did that.
John had commented that he was disappointed Iowa didn't get over 100 yards on the ground. Iowa with 92 yards on the ground. You had Indiana end up with 104. And I look at that, and Indiana was going to stop the run. I think Indiana had the attitude if I was going to beat them, they were going to have to beat them through the air. And Gronowski did a good job. They were going to stop the run. I look at that 92 yards. Am I disappointed they didn't get to 100 yards? Yeah, but I thought Kamari Moulton played well. He averaged 4.2 yards per carry at 18 carries for 75 yards. But that was about it. And that's where we start to see that depth at running back. McNeil had 4 carries for 9 yards. Washington, who started the game, he had that first carry of the game, 1 carry for 1 yard. So we're seeing now the depth, I think, played a factor at running back today.
I can't disagree with
you. From an experience
matter. The fact that you were only able to give McNeil 4 carries, maybe that was the experience factor. If you would have had Jazz Patterson, maybe you're able to get him 10 carries, and that takes 6 more.
Xavier Williams.
That takes 6 away from Brown. If you add Williams in, you give him maybe. I didn't feel like that was what cost the Hawkeyes this game today.
Either did I.
I felt like it was clock management. Clock management hurt him. A missed field goal is a big one. A missed tackle. And that was the thing, man. The secondary had played their best game as well until that's a low bar. The secondary has not been great this year. Secondary was the concern. Secondary did play their best game, but TJ Hall misses that tackle when they're on that all-out blitz and he's on an island, and that's the difference in the game.
Yeah, it was, and you were just waiting for Indiana to have that big play, right? They had a couple long passes, but I tell you what, Sherratt was incredible for Indiana today. Six catches, 132 yards, that long of 49. He was targeted 8 times. So, I mean, he's 6 catches out of 8 targets, 92 yards after catch, Ross. 92 yards after catch. And that's – so – that's where I'm kind of conflicted here. I'm mad Iowa lost because they had the opportunity to win. The last drive was horrible, but yet I'm satisfied by going, okay, they forced Indiana, a team that has been an offensive juggernaut for the last 2 years, into an old-fashioned drag-out Big Ten football game where you're like, this is where Iowa wants to be. And to be honest, I didn't think Iowa was going to be this close today. I did going into today. I didn't think it was going to be this close. After that first touchdown, I'm like, "Uh-oh, it's good. It's going to go downhill fast." And they proved me wrong.
And I said it was Hall, but Chad says he thought that was Lee, and I might have missed that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Chad, but frustrating, man. This is a frustrating loss and a weird one because, for the most part, I was really happy with the Hawkeyes' play today. Outside of that opening drive, that opening sequence was a nightmare, and I had the moment in my head of like, oh, this is going to be that blowout that I was afraid of.
Yeah, you start looking at just really – I mean, look at the number – and look at Indiana on 4th down was 0 for 3. Those were all big stops. Just getting it done defensively. But it's and Kirk Ferentz talks about it. Every coach in America talks about the little things, and the little things are missed tackles. Little things are, ill-advised penalties. There was the roughing the passer penalty. You had the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty early in the game. Just little things that add up.
Yeah.
And in a game that ends up 20-15, that makes the difference. That makes the difference. 515-517-2303. The phone lines are open. A little bit of a change tonight, just to let everybody know. It's going to run kind of like the morning show, and that is our call screener, Owen. He's in a wedding in Dallas, Texas right now. So we have the AI answering the phone calls. So if you would like to call in at 515-517-2303, it is open, and we are ready to hear from you. Drew Stevens missing the field goal. You know, kickers, you love them and you hate them at the same time.
You can't let him off the hook. I've seen somebody say that in the chat. We can't let him off the hook. He has been money. He's been really good. The missed field goal hurts, man. That hurts big time. That opening drive, Travis, when the Hawkeye, not the opening drive where that has the interception, Hawks are trying to respond. They get the ball down inside of a field goal range. They've got that 4th down. I was okay with that field goal at that time, and I think that the announcer said it best. Man, eliminating that 0 on the scoreboard was big. That was an important thing to do. It does a lot. It builds the morale for the team. You look up the scoreboard, you don't have that 0 staring back at you. But they were moving the ball. Maybe that was something that, if you look back on it, again, we could nitpick a lot of decisions when it comes down to a one-possession game like this. The field goal hurts. Couple coaching decisions we can question and look back on and go, why?
Terry says something here that I want to expound upon. With Stevens' missed field goal, the air went out of the stadium. Lee missed the tackle, and defense played well. And I agree with I wasn't in the stadium. I was in the Iowa Lottery Studios. But just say, if you make that field goal, what is your adrenaline level going into that defensive position from a crowd standpoint, from a defensive mindset standpoint about having to make a stop, knowing that you get a victory, to, oh my God, we just missed a field goal. Crowd just deflates, and defense goes out there. They know they got to make a stop, but there's got to be a little bit of adrenaline.
Big plays right away. Get a couple of big plays, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, crap. They're already in field goal range. That would have been nice to hold them to a field goal. there is definitely a momentum thing there. And if you go back and watch that first play, Travis, that gets them out to about the 50-yard line, missed the field goal. Indiana did a very good job of striking right away. I mean, not in that opening sequence, obviously, but this is a good example of that also. If you grab a little bit of that momentum, man, they try to hit big. And they got the ball back up to the 50-yard line. You and I were both sitting on. We were sitting together at the time. We both went, "Oh, that sucks. That's a big one. That hurts." And you felt that. The camera starts to pan around Kinnick Stadium, and you see people gripping a little bit.
Do you agree with this statement? And I do partially. Shocking update. Iowa's defense plays well enough to win, while the offense does not. I would say the offense didn't play well enough to win only on the last drive. I mean, it was an even game. They weren't horrible.
Yes, okay, but Travis, you got to remember, man, they scored 13. They got one touchdown today.
That's true.
So I don't want to. We can't brag on the offense.
I'm not bragging on it. I've seen the offense look worse.
Yes. Did they play well enough to beat a ranked team today?
They did not, because they did not.
The answer is no, because you only scored one touchdown.
Yeah.
You settled for 2 field goals and then a last-minute safety that was handed to you. The offense did not play well enough to win this game today.
515-517-2303. Whoa! Who's this? Who's this? Hello? Ron, you got to call back because your phone is absolutely horrible.
That was Ron or Ryan?
I don't know, man.
Calling from a wind tunnel?
Yeah, Here, couple things. Don't have your windows down when you call, and probably don't go on the Bluetooth, because you never know what's going to happen. If you're not driving, try to put the phone to the ear and have a conversation.
He wasn't driving. He was flying an F-16. Driving.
Yeah. It was the F-16s from the flyover at the Ryder Cup yesterday that happened live on the air.
Excuse me, let me shut the cockpit and I'll call back. That's what that sounded like to me.
It's like doing the G-force thing. Like, well, remember Spies Like Us? It's like,
yes. The Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
We should get coffee.
All right, let's try it again. 515-517-2303. Who's this?
Ryan.
Hey, Brian. What's going on?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, sorry about that. I was just calling. I think Iowa played well, and I think they're a solid team. They just don't have any playmakers. They don't have a Cooper DeJean or, someone like that that's going to make a big play in the end when it counts. And they got a tough schedule, and it's just going to be a tough year.
All right, let me ask you, Ryan, if I made you pick one playmaker on the team, who is it? Because I think we all know the answer. It's Weegan.
I can't even think of one that's an actual. Like a
Cooper
DeJean type playmaker.
And I see now
Caleb
that.
Weegan,
Yeah, but not. The point I was trying to make there, Ryan, is it's frustrating when the guy that is your best playmaker is a guy that it's hard to get the ball to. You have to almost either hope for a punt return or run some little gadget play to hand the ball off to him. They did that. I feel like they did it a couple times. Do you have a couple carries today, Trav?
Weegan?
No. I'm looking at it. He didn't have a carry today?
They used him as a decoy on the reverse a couple times, but he did not have any carries.
I swore one of those. He had 4 catches for 29 yards.
Yep.
That's not enough to be a playmaker, to Ryan's point. And Ryan's absolutely right. You've got to get the ball in the hands of the dudes that can break big plays. And right now, he's the one guy that can do it. He's the one guy on that offense that is a true playmaker. Every now and again, you'll get one of those running backs that can make a play. Jazz Patterson, I think, Travis, he's the guy that you like the most. I like Moulton. I think, but
I like Xavier Williams. I think those three are all pretty good running backs.
But none of them are game-breaking playmaker type of guys. And the one guy you do have that is that way is down the depth chart in wide receiver.
515-517-2303. Let's go to Anthony. Anthony, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. What's going on, Anthony?
Hey, guys. Tough loss today. I guess I have lots to say, but I'll only say a couple things. Our linebackers are not very good. They are not good. I don't know if it's me overthinking things, and it seems like they're whipping or they're just slow to react. And the second thing, if Gronowski's out long term, I think this is going to be a long year. So I'll hang up and listen, and have a good night.
Thanks, Anthony.
Travis, listen, this might be a really fair point. You know, I have said, I have kind of looked past the linebackers. I have accepted the fact that, it's Hawkeye linebackers. They're doing great. I want to go through the top tacklers here for the Hawkeyes, okay?
Okay.
Entering
by the way, Carter and whoever else, we'll get to your phone calls in a second, so you just stay there and hold it. Keep going, Ross.
Entringer, Lee, Lutmer, Wampa, Herkett, Harl, Graves. You got to go 1, 2, 3. You got to go down a ways before you find a linebacker, dude.
So Anthony was on to something.
Lee, Lutmer, Wampa. I guess, Entringer did have 10. He had 10 tackles tonight and 7 solo.
Not much depth there, though.
These are all defensive backs.
Yeah.
I mean, Herkett, D-line. Dude.
515-517-2303.
Jaden Harrell, the top, your top tackler at linebacker with 4.
Let's go to Carter. Carter, welcome to Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. What's going on, Carter?
Hey, what's up, guys? Biggest thing is that the linebackers are just unexperienced. They're not they're not knowing everything, because we had Jay Higgins, we had Nick Jackson last year, but now we don't have the people to be able to teach them all that well. But then, our D-backs are doing great, besides not getting picks, but then also not tackling the greatest either. It's going to be the biggest thing.
Who is this? I'm sorry.
This is Carter.
Carter. All right, thanks,
This
man.
is Carter.
Yeah, appreciate that phone call. That's a fair point, man, on the linebackers. I think that's a fair point. But they've got to be better. I have looked past them, or maybe given them a little bit too much of grace on it. Today, you look at the stats, it's hard to say that they played great. Almost all your top 4 tacklers are defensive backs.
And they were hitting hard today, man. But
yeah, I completely understand. It's just an unexperienced piece, I think, is going to be the biggest thing. I mean, I can see it, but you just need more experience right there to be able to lead the team more.
All right, Carter, thanks for the phone call, buddy.
Carter.
Appreciate it,
man.
Yep.
515-517-2303. Let's go back to the phones. Welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. Who's this?
Bubba.
Hey, Bubba.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing?
I just have I don't know if you were listening on Peacock, but the announcer sounded just like you.
Well, like me, Travis, or him, Ross?
No, like you.
Is that all you got?
I'm sure it was like you.
Yeah,
like you, Travis.
Well, if you're comparing me to Paul Burmeister, I'll take that. If you're comparing me to Phil Simms, yeah.
Oh, it was Paul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a couple times I was like, wow, that sounds just like Travis. But anyway,
funny.
That's all I got.
All right.
Thanks, Bubba.
Thanks, Bubba.
Anyway,
Appreciate it.
It's a sad.
515-517-2303. Indiana fan here, and mad respect to what Iowa, that was war. And it was war. I mean, it was a defensive battle.
Yeah, oh, hell no, wrote in, said Indiana fan here. Mad respect to Iowa. That was a war. It was a fun game, but you lost.
Yeah.
And for an Indiana fan, that's got to be like a whew. And I would love it. Oh, hell no. Give us a call. 515-517-2303. I'd love to know what was going through your head, how you kind of process that, what your thoughts are right now. Because as a Hawkeye fan, I should be looking at this as, man, the Hawkeyes gave a great game to a ranked team that might be one of that's showing themselves as one of the better teams in the Big Ten. And I'm not saying they're up there with Oregon, Ohio State, but you can't argue that Indiana now, they've been fighting for that recognition and that respect, right?
Yeah.
And the Hawkeyes came in and played well with him, I should be looking at this as, the Hawkeyes have lost 2 games and it's to 2 ranked teams. That's not the way I'm feeling right now, man. I feel like, damn it. They had a chance to win that game, and clock management screwed them. A couple of big plays that were just bad plays, not screwed them. They lose because of that. And now I don't know what's going to happen, Trav, because if Gronowski's not there, then what's this going to mean with Hank Brown as the starting quarterback?
That's a good question. We haven't seen enough of Hank Brown to know. He wasn't bad. I mean, he wasn't horrible. But can he take you through 4 quarters of a Big Ten game? Does he give you that? I mean, look at Mark Gronowski was not good in his first couple games, and it's taking Gronowski a couple games to get his feet under him. Well, we're midway through the season now. We're a quarter of the way through the season. We don't have time to get your feet underneath you. Right. You need to be ready to play.
And that was I like Gronowski. I think that he's been well, but you brought in a guy that you were going to get 1 year out of.
Yeah.
One and done. You signed up for that at the beginning. And you say Hank Brown, I don't want to pick on the guy that got thrown in there and had to go. He was 5 of 13.
I think he was 0 of 4 on the last. So he on that last possession when it mattered the most. That's when it mattered the most, and he just did not have good looks at all in that last possession. That was the disappointing part. But I got to put some of that on the coaching staff. Going back to your clock management, you've got a kid in there who's never been in that position. Take a timeout.
You and I were screaming. I was screaming. You were being very calm. I was getting animated towards the end of that game because I felt it slipping away. And what they needed to do was call timeout and give him a chance to settle down. Instead of they did, even when they got a first down. They're going to hurry up to the line. Why race up to the line? You have 3 timeouts and you're in under a minute. Burn a timeout, calm down, come to the sideline, think it over. Maybe even then you're able to call a couple of plays rather than trying to buzz one in on his helmet.
515-517-2303. We're going to take a 1-minute break. We'll be back more with the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios.
With the new Blackout Scratch ticket from the Iowa Lottery, you can win the game day experience of your dreams.
That'll be $5.
Enter for a chance to win a VIP experience cheering on the Hawkeyes from the Ironman Suite at Kinnick Stadium.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You like listening to Travis and Ross talk about the Hawkeyes, so tune in when they talk about everything else. Listen to The Rush with Travis and Ross every day on therushradio.com, YouTube, the TuneIn app, and wherever you get your sports content.
Welcome back to the Black and Gold Rush, live from the Iowa Lottery Studios. Iowa loses to Indiana 20-15 today at Kinnick Stadium on homecoming. A game you watched on Peacock. If you're at the stadium and you're driving home right now, phone lines are wide open at 515-517-2303. And, the more we talk, Ross, I think the more mad I get. At first I was like, fun game, great game. And then we started having the conversation, should we be happy that they were to hang? We're talking about freaking Indiana, right? We're talking about a guy that has been at Indiana for a year and 4 games compared to a coach that's been at Iowa for 27 years, the all-time winningest coach in Big Ten. And we're sitting there going, well, they hung. And I can't hear you. You're muted.
How'd that work? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Trav, we were almost there, man. We played really good with Indiana.
I fell into that trap of, Iowa was, yes.
Trav, it reminds me, man, I don't want to get into the Fire Ferentz stuff, but here we go. It always when I see Curt Cignetti, it reminds me of, for years, Hawkeye fans telling me, you don't want to change. If you change, it only gets worse. There's no way you bring in a new coach and they win the next year. You can't do that.
There was
This
an
is the
excellent
Big Ten.
There was an excellent article in Sports Illustrated yesterday about why Mike Gundy lost his job, and they used Dabo Swinney as an example. And I thought of Kirk Ferentz here, and it was like 5 or 6 years ago. Dabo Swinney did this, pontificated on either you keep growing, changing, innovating, and surviving, or you die. And Mike
Evolve
Gundy,
or die, dude. That's
evolve or die.
Everything.
And they said age has nothing to do with it. Because Mike Gundy's 58 years old, he did not want to evolve with the changing times. Curt Cignetti has embraced NIL, transfer portals, and wanted to innovate, and that's why he's been able to succeed. You have to innovate or die. And when you plateau, it can be a quick death after that. And I don't want that to happen for Iowa football. And that's why we started it. I fell into the trap of, they played well, they exceeded my expectations. But now I'm like, we're talking about frickin' Indiana here.
I did the same
thing. Talking about Indiana.
Did the same thing. And this is not a knock on Indiana. It's our perception is wrong. Listen, I said this about Hawkeye basketball for a long time. Hawkeye basketball, and hopefully Ben McCollum turns it around, Hawkeye basketball is not what Hawkeye fans want to think it is. It's not. And under the last administration, Fran, it was far from what Hawkeye fans pretended it was. And we didn't even think it was that good. It was bad. It was bad. You had occasional runs into the field of 68. That is Northwestern. That's Maryland. That's not even Maryland. It's bad. And this is an indication of, well, guess we're a middle-of-the-road Big Ten team, right? Because we're nowhere near Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, those teams.
515-517-2303. Welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. Who's this?
This is James. How you doing?
Good, James.
What's up, James?
Good. Hey, you guys were just talking about Indiana. Is Cignetti going to be like the Hayden Fry of Indiana in the foreseeable future?
I think he already is. He got them to the college football
playoff. He's
playoff.
playing the game now with the modern – exactly. And he's playing the game in the modern era, and he has a winning attitude. And I'm guessing he has a ton of good staff, good coaches that we just don't know about yet.
That very well could be that he's building that kind of Hayden Fry coaching tree that you're talking about. You know, the one thing I would say is very different about the two of them. Curt Cignetti seems angry.
He's got a chip on his shoulder.
Hayden Fry always seemed like he was having a great time out there, kicking the air, white pants flying, right?
Curt Cignetti.
Yeah, that's the picture. Yeah.
Who was the guy that did the Duracell commercial? Remember the Duracell? Go ahead, knock it off. Remember they would put it on.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. It wasn't Robert Conrad. Who was the guy that did? See, I'm showing my age here. Ross is like, "What are you talking about?" Duracell was like meant to be this tough, battery, and he'd put it on his shoulders. Like, go ahead, knock it off. That's Curt Cignetti. He has a chip on his shoulder, or Robert Conrad. That's what Sean says. I got it right again, showing my age here. But here's the deal, James. You ask if he's going to be the Hayden Fry. Hayden Fry, it took how many years to do that? From 1980
to I think.
Yeah, not long. I mean, a couple.
2 years.
Yeah. And people, the 85 team was honored. So by 85, he had cemented himself. You go to the college football playoff in year one at Indiana, you are already right. They will build a statue of Curt Cignetti because he went to the college football playoff in year one. The dude has a statue after 1 year.
Yes, sir. That's crazy to me. So. I'd like to go back, too, to one of your previous callers, too. Yeah, Josie Jewell, those guys always had natural instinct for the ball. You could usually know where the ball was by watching where the linebackers were going to the play before you even knew where the ball was at. If it was in the linebacker, in the running back's hand or whose it may be. You just don't see that anymore.
No.
In this particular season. It's getting rough.
Ball hawks.
To watch that yeah, exactly. Ball hawks. It's the same way with the secondary. I think we had a lot of guys with a lot of brain in their play, where they could, call the play as it was going on, and a lot of recognition. I think we're chasing the ball more than we're recognizing before the play myself.
Good call, James. Appreciate it, man.
You bet. Have a good one.
515-517-2303. Let's go back to the phones. Welcome to the Black and Gold Rush. Who's this?
This is Ryan.
Hey, Ryan, what's going on? You coming back from Kinnick?
Yeah, I'm heading over to Chicago area from Kinnick on my way home. And I just, we talk about complacency that we hit with the basketball program for so long now. And I've been that way for this team, for the football team, for a long time. And I'm going to sit there and say that last week I sat there and watched that game. It was one of the funnest games I watched in a long time. And today I was finally into it. Instead of just going into the football games, having a good time for like 5 hours of tailgating beforehand, and then get into the game and spend a quarter and a half and leave because it sucks. Today I had a good time. I was into it. It's going. But two games this year against good teams, we controlled the game the way Iowa plays the game, and we lost. And it's time to move on. Am I not wrong on that one?
When you say time to move on, you mean you're ready for the Kirk Ferentz era to come to an end?
Exactly. And I love the guy. Don't get me wrong. He's going to need lots of good times over the years, but it's just like 2 games this year, he controls the game. It's his game. It's the way he wants to win games, and he can't win the games that way anymore.
I think, Ryan, that most Hawkeye fans that I talk to would echo exactly what you say there. It's hard to say, Kirk Ferentz would lose his job. And you don't hear a lot of people saying that. What you hear is stuff like this. Man, I'm ready for a change. I just don't think the Hawkeyes can get to the mountaintop that I want them to get to with Kirk Ferentz. He's done a fantastic job of taking what Hayden Fry left, that empty cupboard, and for the last 25 years having major stability, turning out a whole bunch of NFL prospects, and giving Hawkeye fans a bunch of fun Saturdays. What do we want to do?
And I mean,
we want to win. We want to compete. We want to compete for the net. Here's what I'll tell you what we want. We want to compete to be in the college football playoff. No Hawkeye fan is blinded by the thing of like, well, I want to be next year. I want to be Ohio State. Next year, I want to be Oregon. Next year, I want to be the #1 team in the country all year long, preseason, undefeated. No. Hawkeye fans are pretty reasonable. Say, compete in the Big Ten, compete against every Big Ten team, compete to get into the college football playoff, maybe compete for that Big Ten title every few years. Don't ever get blown out of a game, and quit losing to fucking Indiana.
No, I agree with you. And I mean, hey, at least we didn't lose like Illinois did last week, but I didn't expect us to. Doesn't mean we're better than Illinois.
I was kind of afraid of that for a minute, man. I was kind of afraid of that for a little bit. And even when the game started, I thought, oh, here it goes. It's going to happen, man. They're going to do that thing they did to Illinois. They're so angry. Why are you so angry?
I saw earlier in the week, man, I got 8 points betting Iowa. I bet them all day long, so I won that at least.
Nice. Good job out of you.
Yeah, at least you got some cash.
Nice work, Ryan.
But Ryan, thanks for the phone call, man. Appreciate it. Drive safe.
Thank you.
But, Ross, you ask a very important question. And after watching this game, it becomes even more evident, and that is Iowa has to decide, and this is Beth Getz has to decide this, is what do you want to be in the college football world?
Yeah.
Because Oklahoma State has made it clear that they want to be in that conversation. UCLA has made it clear by firing their head coach after 3 games that they want to be in that conversation. And you have to decide, are you going to invest? Are you going to get somebody who's innovative? Are you going to get somebody who looks at this and goes, you know what? We're playing by a new set of rules. I'm going to embrace this, and I'm going to go for it. Because if you don't want to, then you're just going to be middle of the pack all the time, and you're going to have apathy set in. If Iowa State is up on Arizona right now 8-0. As soon as Iowa State makes the college football playoff, that's going to be the expectation for Iowa State. It will. Success changes the mentality.
I would say right now Iowa State is in that. I mean, you're right, Travis. Make it, and then it goes that Chiefs, Cubs, Red Sox thing. oh, this is where we belong now. And if you don't make it to where we belong, then what's wrong? And that's part of what we're feeling right now with losing to Indiana. That's what we're feeling right now as Hawkeye fans, losing ground to Illinois, seeing Illinois be a top 10 ranked team. It's like, wait a minute, we want to be a top ranked team.
And then Illinois turns around and beats USC today on a last-second field goal. 515-517-2303. Let's go to Andy. Andy, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. What's going on?
Hey, not a whole lot. I'm waiting to get up to my tailgate from my parking spot so we can pack up and leave. I figured I'd give you guys a call. So I was talking with a couple of Indiana fans sitting in front of me, and, they said Iowa was playing hard. This is the game they were most worried about so far this year. And Iowa did not get out physical by Indiana by a far cry, which I was afraid that was going to happen, but it didn't. But from what I'm seeing, Iowa does not have the money to bring in the players to get the results that we want. That right now is just kind of becoming obvious.
Andy, I'd like to just mention a few things. Almost each year, the Hawkeyes have landed, except for this year because of Nico being out there with Tennessee and going to UCLA, the Hawkeyes have landed one of the top sought-after names in the NIL market. The first year, Cade McNamara, they got the number one guy available. The second year, they got that receiver out of Ohio State. I don't remember his name because he wasn't because I knew Arlen Bruce or Max Cooper, or name an Iowa receiver that was supposed to change the world. That guy didn't either. And now you get Mark Gronowski. And by the way, don't forget, at one point we had Caden Proctor back in-house so I don't think that's true. I don't think that the money thing is a problem. I really don't. I think that the Hawkeyes have proven through all of those different names that they can compete to get those top guys out of the transfer market, out of the transfer portal. I think the problem is we as fans and maybe even college football coaches are overestimating what type of talent is really available in the portal. That's what I mean. It's hard to find a guy that jumped into the portal, found a new spot, cashed that big check, and everything went hunky-dory and wonderful. Most of the time, it's stuff like this. And I'm waiting for the market to adjust and go, oh, wait, these guys aren't the cream of the crop. We shouldn't be throwing tons of resources at these guys. Giving Mark Gronowski a couple $1 million so that he can be the starting quarterback for 1 year seems to me like that's a bad investment. It wasn't a quarterback that was going to take this team to the college football playoff this year, Travis.
I would agree with you. I think where you're
one player away. This roster shows it.
What your better investment is what Indiana has done, and that is you go get maybe lesser name guys who maybe aren't as, and you're willing to overhaul your. This is going to be the hard part for Iowa. And that is overhauling the roster maybe more than you want to. It's roster management. And are you willing to bring in 20, 25 new guys every year?
What Indiana did.
Yes.
When Cignetti took the job, man, they went bonkers. They turned over that roster in a sense. Now, they didn't bring in – they brought in some dudes. They brought in, obviously, looking at it, they brought in the right guys. And that's the thing. And really, I think what we could talk about here in this conversation – Kirk Ferentz is not great at evaluating college quarterback talent. Kirk Ferentz is not great at recruiting the quarterbacks that the Hawkeyes need to compete at a high level in the Big Ten. And that's why we are this perennial 8-win team who Indiana gets a new coach, they're better than us. Illinois gets a new coach, they're better than us. Wisconsin picked the wrong dude. Wisconsin got the wrong guy.
Yeah, the last thing you want is you're middle of the pack Big Ten right now, and everybody out there wants to be better than you, and they're going to do everything they can to be better than you.
I have beat this up on our the Rush program in the mornings. I almost said the Morning Rush. I've beat this up on the Rush. It's the people, and I can look at 1,000 different examples to say it's the people. It's not the city. It's not the conference. It's not your geography. Because for years, you're in Iowa. You can't recruit kids in Iowa. Don't you know that? You're in the Big Ten.
That you accept your lot in life.
If you accept that lot in life.
Yes.
And you look at a few places where they changed the people. My favorite one is Baylor. Baylor was an absolute doormat. Well, they were in Texas. Yeah, with 45 other Division I schools that could recruit better than them.
You're not exaggerating there, too. I mean, there's a number. There are schools who are Division I in Texas who don't recruit outside the school of or outside the state of Texas.
So it's the people, and the people that we have right now. The Coach Ferentz. This is it's a really good program. It's a stand-up program. It's respectable. Is it a playoff program?
No. Andy, thanks for the phone call, man. Good stuff. I appreciate it.
All right, have a great night, guys.
All right, thanks, man.
Thanks, bud.
515-517-2303.
This is an important one, too, because Terry says Gronowski's not making $2 million, not even one. There are reports out there, Terry, that it's upwards of $2 million to come in for 1 year. I don't know what that is. And I do think, but to your point, Terry, I think we are constantly wrong about some of this NIL stuff, okay? One thing I would also like to point out, look how quickly Oklahoma State found $15 million to not have a coach and then say, hey, we've also got $200 million that we're going to start throwing into this machine. Look at Tulsa. Tulsa showed up and said, we got $200 million we'd like to join. We'll give to the Big 12. Not $200 million we want to invest in football. We will give you $200 million to let us be a part of the team here.
That was Memphis now.
Memphis, I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
Memphis.
not Tulsa. Not Tulsa.
That's fine.
Thank you. The money is out there. I don't know how much money Gronowski made, but I do know that he was a sought-after commodity in the transfer portal. The Hawkeyes got him. That's awesome. And I do think today he played well. Like he's tough, dude. He's tough.
Tough as nails.
The first couple games I was questioning, right? And I walked away. We came here and did the show, and I thought, oh, man, is this that dude that won national titles? This is that guy that's won more college games than any other quarterback under center right now? That was my fear. These last two games I've said, that's the dude. Okay, and now I see it. He's tough, man.
Throwing a much better ball.
The plow when he gets into the end zone.
Yeah.
Hawkeye Heaven tweeted out, the Gronowski Plowski.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. I think that the money is the money's frustrating to me because I love this quarterback we've seen the last couple of games, but I'm also smart enough to know it wasn't the right move. The quarterback was not what was going to change this game and this team and make it great. We should have probably spent that money bringing in a younger guy that could have developed and we would have seen progress over the next couple of years. Maybe we'll get a chance to see Hank Brown do that now. I don't know.
I don't disagree with this statement. It's from Andrew, who says money is not the problem. It's the distribution and who's making those decisions. Meaning if you're top heavy, you're going to have, and you don't have anything left for anybody else, that's a problem. They're going to have to figure this out. And I got news for you. I know there's going to be a $20 million salary cap. You're going to have to go above and beyond that $20 million.
Yeah.
And that's why Brad Heinrichs is like, hey, we need more subscribers to the Swarm at $25, $50 a month. But you need to understand as a fan, that money's coming from you. That money, I'm not saying it's right, but there's nowhere else to get the money.
I'll keep my mouth shut on that because...
No, go ahead. We got 2 hours.
Stupid. It's absolutely stupid that we continue to go to the fans' till. Fans have fed this machine, built this machine. I'm beating up this dead horse I've talked about for years. And then the athletic departments mismanaged all of it in an illegal way, according to the Supreme Court. Not this DMAC dropout. The Supreme Court says they did it in the illegal fashion. If only somebody would have told them that for 20 years. Oh, there were lots of people screaming and yelling. Now we're going to start having corporate sponsorships on NCAA uniforms. On NCAA uniforms.
And the field, yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, the field has been for a long time. You've had Mid-American Field. You've had corporate labels on fields for a while.
Well, not to the extent, because, they officially got it okay. Iowa State got like a grandfathered clause because they were naming the field. Now
Dude,
you can literally
this is the fucking shell. I don't hate this shell game stuff of like, but technically,
because not everybody had them on there.
Okay.
I mean, they didn't.
Okay, so but now I'll go back to my original statement. Now it's going to be okay that they're going to have corporate logos on jerseys. Okay. And now other teams will be able to put corporate logos on fields, even though several teams have been doing it because they were grandfathered in and there was all this other weird mental gymnastics we'll do to say it wasn't quite that, but now it will be. So now corporations get to start footing the bill, right? Sweet. All right, so now we're going to have ticket prices lowered, right? We'll stop charging people $100 to park, right? Because the corporations to the rescue. No, we need 7,000 more Hawkeye fans to sign up at $50 a month because, man, if you don't do that, are you really a Hawkeye fan? Are you a big baller or are you a little baller? Do you want this team to win or not? Because we need your cash in order to do it. No, you need the people. You got the money. You've got the money.
But understand, if you don't win and the money's there, you're going to – a guy sticking around 27 years just isn't going to happen anymore, right? I mean, we're seeing that. Now it's like if you don't do it in 2 years, if you don't do it in 3 years, your leash is over. And that's just the expectation in college football now. We saw it at UCLA. We've seen it at Virginia Tech. And we're going to see it at other schools. The firing season is not done yet, folks. Not even close to being done.
Bye week, and then it's Wisconsin. I do even right now. I feel good about Wisconsin. I think the Hawkeyes beat Wisconsin. It's at Wisconsin. How do you feel right now about
it? Is a must win. There is more pressure on this team than ever before. This is a must win for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Considered it like that.
Luke Fickell's on the hot seat. If Wisconsin wins, that saves his job maybe for another week or two. Oof. But it is a must-win for Iowa, who now has 2 losses on the season. There's no other way to look at it. Every game's a must-win. I understand that. But when it comes to must-win and not really lose the fan base, I think fans can justify this mentally in their head by going, okay, you lost to a ranked team. You lost to a team that went to the playoff last year. You can't mentally justify losing to Wisconsin. It is a vitally important game for the health and stability of the program next week or in 2 weeks. Would you agree with that? Disagree with that?
I hadn't thought of it, Travis. That's why I genuinely was asking you. But I think you're right. Must win for the mental health of the fan base. Must win for, Travis, the trajectory of this season. You already got 2 losses, and you still have Penn State, Oregon, USC. And USC lost at Illinois today. That game is at USC. Must win.
Yeah.
If you don't beat Wisconsin, man, that's going to feel like it puts Minnesota, Nebraska, puts those other games in jeopardy too.
515-517-2303. We got an hour in the books. We got an hour to go. We're going to take a minute timeout. Phone lines are open. This is a call-in show. We'd love to hear from you on the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios.
She's on the 17, the 45, the 29, and she scores big cash prizes from the Iowa Lottery by matching her numbers to the winning numbers on the new Iowa Blackout Scratch Ticket. Now she's entering for a chance to win an Ironman Suite experience at Kinnick Stadium, plus other fun VIP prizes. That's the best touchdown dance I've ever seen. Make the biggest play of the season today. Enter and see rules at ialottery.com/VIP.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You like listening to Travis and Ross talk about the Hawkeyes, so tune in when they talk about everything else. Listen to The Rush with Travis and Ross every day on therushladio.com, YouTube, the TuneIn app, and wherever you get your sports content.
Hour number 2 of the Rush of the Black and Gold Rush, live from the Iowa Lottery Studios. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushladio.com, on the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app, thank you so much for dialing us in. If you're watching on YouTube right now, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We like our subscribers. Go ahead and like this video. Start leaving your comments in the comments section. And you can follow us on X at Rush Mornings, on Facebook, The Rush with Travis and Ross, and on Instagram, The Rush Radio Show. Iowa loses to Indiana today by a score of 20-15. Drops its second game of the season. Drops its first Big Ten game. As Ross said right before we went to the break at the top of the hour, it has Wisconsin up next. And you look back at this game, Ross, and in looking at the film is going to be very frustrating for this coaching staff. It's going to be frustrating for the players because there's going to be so many missed opportunities. And let's really dial into special teams. And two that really stick out to me. The block punt. Sure, he got 29 yards on the punt, but that was a major play. And then you had the Drew Stevens missed field goal. So just we talk about the special teams. Yeah. Those were two plays that had a major impact on this game.
Let's just take each one and let's rewind a little bit on each. First, the Drew Stevens field goal. That's the one I think I'd like to focus on for a second because that was my moment just before that of like, oh no, and it happened at this moment. John even asked about it. That screen pass on third down was stupid. Stop the clock with 2:07. Even the announcer, remember Phil Simms even said, one of the guys up here in the booth asked me if they're going to pass the ball. No, they're not going to throw the football. And then what did they do? They drop back and he misses a screen pass. Okay, stop the clock. That was that first moment of like, that's poor clock management. That's poor clock management. And Kirk Ferentz looked like he's chomping the gum, staring at the clock, going, all right, we're counting down to the 2-minute warning, 2-minute warning. Signetti's calling his timeouts. He burns his last timeout. You've got to be thinking to yourself, well, he was burning those timeouts because he wants as much clock stoppage between now and the 2-minute warning as possible. So I'm going to run the ball. Maybe it was that situation of everybody thinks you're going to run the ball, so run the screen pass, and maybe you get, you know what I mean?
Deception.
Veer when they think you're going to stay straight type of thing. But it cost them. And even at those 7 seconds, in the moment, that feels very insignificant. Maybe it changes some things. I don't know what, I don't know. That and then the secondary who had played, again, low bar. They'd played their best game of the season up until that 2-minute warning. And then Indiana gets the ball, and it was like, oh, yeah, this is that secondary that we've seen. Getting beat, missing tackles. That was tough, man. I would go back to the right before the missed field goal. That was the beginning of my, oh, crap.
Yeah.
Period there.
Block punt.
The blocked punt, it's big. It's big. I don't know what impact that had. It did seem, if I saw that right, was it Hayden Large that missed the block, which doesn't, he seems like he's been really solid.
I think it has an impact because in a game like this, which was 13-13 until the final 2 minutes, then every little single play has a major impact on the game. And that gave Indy, I don't think they scored out of that, but it was, field position. Because you want to flip the field. Did give a chance to really flip the field. They got the ball, I think, at like the 45-yard line. Just a couple mistakes as far as special teams goes.
One other thing that I found kind of odd was Phil Simms also talking about how, man, we talked to Tim Lester, and he told us he really likes that vertical passing game, really likes to throw the ball vertical down the field. What?
We haven't seen it.
And then they
can't
get
do
one
it.
tight end seam pass, and he goes, that's it. That was the play they've been looking for. A 15-yard over the middle to the tight end is the vertical passing game that frustrating, man. It was frustrating because they played so much better than I thought they were going to. I really did think that Indiana was going to blow them out, and then you lose in that fashion. And this is that game in the balance. Now you've got to win the rest of those games in the balance. You got it. You nailed it, dude. Wisconsin, you're right. It's a must-win. It's a must-win for the season. It's a must-win for the fans. It's a must-win for the team. Yeah, and I know athletes hate the must-win. Coaches hate the must-win. I get it. Man, for us, for not calling for Kirk Ferentz' job because if they lose to Wisconsin, it will reach epic proportions.
Well, if they lose to Wisconsin, they will end the season. Let's just look at the schedule. You got Wisconsin.
I don't know how you'd land with a winning record.
You're not going to beat Penn State. Now, Penn State's playing Oregon right now, but you're not going to beat Penn State. Minnesota beat Rutgers today. Then you got Oregon at home. You're not going to beat Oregon. You go to USC. Just being on the road, I'm going to give USC the advantage there. You get Michigan State at home, which is 3-1 in the season. Then you go to Nebraska to end the season. If you lose to Wisconsin, I just don't know where you salvage a winning season out of this. I don't, and that's what scares me, is that if you end up with a non-winning season, don't go to a bowl game, because that's where we're at now, folks. That's where we're at. You're going to go, come on, they're 3-2. There's a lot of football left. Yeah, there's a lot of tough football left. And Wisconsin's going to be playing for Luke Fickell's job. No doubt about it.
All of these other games that are in the balance, Wisconsin, and again, we shouldn't write off Penn State, Oregon, and USC. We shouldn't just instantly put Penn L next to those, because crazy things happen. Did you see the stat earlier that somebody put in the chat, Trav, about when was the last time the Hawkeyes beat a ranked team at Kinnick?
No.
2021, Penn State.
It's been that far.
4 years. 4 years.
Wow.
And so I don't want to say it's impossible for them to beat Penn State or Oregon.
Well, they're sure as hell not going to be favored, Ross.
Again, the USC, yeah, right. And then the USC game is in California, but
now everybody's like, "Come on, guys, they're going to beat Whiskey," and they're talking about Wisconsin. I can't say that.
I wondered when you said they're going to beat Whiskey.
I can't say that. I can't say that with a definite yes. Can you? Can you come out right now and say yes?
Like I was when I went last Saturday night when we were like, oh my God, Indiana looks amazing. And if I take what I've just seen and push it out, yeah, Hawkeyes are going to lose next Saturday to Indiana. Right now, I would say Hawkeyes beat Wisconsin.
With Hank Brown at quarterback?
Now you're kind of starting to play with me a little bit.
I got to throw it out there.
It very well could be. And if you have Hank Brown, and we saw him go 5 of 13 today, maybe he's got a couple of weeks to work with the ones, and we see performance. Yes, the Hawkeyes beat Wisconsin. Yes, the Hawkeyes beat Wisconsin, right?
Keep telling yourself enough, it's going to happen.
I'm going to keep telling myself that. I got 2 weeks of doing this.
Thank God for an off week, because we'd be going crazy.
I think it's one of those times. It's such a stupid cliche, but man, what a great time for the bye week.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I would agree with you. Yeah, they're going to need some time to decompress from this one.
Get the running backs healthy. Maybe Gronowski can get back, and you've got 2 weeks now to rest that knee and get it back. That's what I mean. More than it always sucks to lose, and then that's what's stuck in your head for the next 2 weeks. But I think that if you can get some of the running backs back, if Gronowski needs these 2 weeks to be able to start quarterback, they're a better team with a healthy Gronowski than they are with Hank Brown. And I would
agree with you.
And yes, Hawkeyes beat Wisconsin if they have Gronowski and running backs.
515-517-2303. Just to let everybody know, we got a little bit of a different call screening tonight. You're going to be prompted by an AI voice, just to let you know, because I know that we've had a lot of people call in and hang up.
I wonder, man, because we have been like 30 calls the last couple of weekends,
yes.
And I was like, what the hell?
So just to let everybody know, we are taking phone calls. We have an automatic call screener tonight because our call screener is in Dallas at a wedding, and he actually texted me right before we went on. He goes, "Who's screening calls?" I go, "AI." And he goes, "Oh, I go, well, if you got your laptop, just hop on, man. You can screen from Dallas. He goes, I'm going to Billy Bob's tonight. I'm going to go watch some live music at Billy Bob's.
We probably could ask Justin. If it's better to have somebody, we could probably ask Justin to do it.
Yeah, I would have had to train him, and I don't know the screening process, if that makes sense. I should know the software. I don't know all the software, but it's there. I'm just saying, people.
Mrs. Puffer is listening to saw something from Lystico. Initial reports on Gronowski are positive, according to Chad Lystico.
Well, that's good. That is good.
Better than the alternative.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I feel better about a Wisconsin game if he's healthy. If he's not healthy and it's Hank Brown, I'm not feeling as confident heading into a Wisconsin game. Now, Wisconsin is off this week. They've got Michigan next week. I don't think they beat Michigan. And the worst thing that could happen, Ross, they lose to Michigan and they fire Luke Fickell. I never want to play a team after they fire their head coach. It changes the whole dynamic of it.
Yeah, I can see that, I guess. I don't have an opinion on it either way. I mean, Luke Fickell, it seems like the clock is ticking there and probably inevitable at this point. He doesn't seem like he's comfortable there. Doesn't seem like he's a very good fit.
So that's the big thing. It's fit. 515-517-2303. Let's go to Dan. Dan, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. What's going on, Dan?
Hey guys, I just found out about your show a week ago, and I love it now. Now even though I'm retired, I have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning just to listen to you live. But anyway,
thank you,
Dan. We appreciate that, man.
I got a couple questions. Are we losing the strength game at Iowa? And it's something you should ask Kluver next time you have him on, because he has some interesting takes on, when we lost our strength guru under some questionable circumstances. But anyway, that's just the question I wanted to throw out there. The other thing is our big receiver, I think he's number 7. I'm old, so I can't remember his name, but how many targets did he have tonight?
That's a great question.
I can only think of one, and he came back and made a good catch.
And when
I believe he made a great catch last week too.
Howard had 2 catches for 21 yards. He was targeted 4 times.
Okay.
He had 1 yard after
catch. I didn't see all of those. Yeah. And the other thing is, you said a mouthful when you said Kirk isn't the greatest evaluator of quarterback talent. Remember when, and I'm not saying we need to return to the days of Hayden Fry, but didn't it seem like every year he had an all Big Ten quarterback there for several years in a row?
You go with Chuck and then Hartley.
Somebody in the running. Long, Hartley. Was Rogers all Big Ten?
Yeah, Matt Rogers.
Mark Vlasic. Remember Mark Vlasic ended up playing for the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Now, we won't bring up Burmeister because I think he set a record for being sacked the most times or something, but that was toward the end of his era, of Fry's era. But I saw all those missed tackles today, and Indiana had a stud running back, but we had a lot of guys who were piled up against them and left laying on the ground. Even though the defense played well, I think they schemed it very well. And of course, we made big plays, stopping them on 4th down. Were those 3 plays made by defensive backs? I think at least 2 of them were.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would like to let's talk real quick about the receivers, because I'm not sure. You said number 7, which would be Howard, but when you say the Hawkeyes' best receiver, are you maybe thinking of Anderson, or maybe
no, I meant the big guy.
Howard. Okay. Yep. Okay. You were looking for those targets. That's it.
He had a great. So, anyway, it's a little frustrating because I think, like one of you guys said, it was a winnable game. I'm not sure we went into this game thinking it was winnable, but as we started to take control, it was a winnable game, and that's what hurts more.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate the phone call.
Dan, appreciate that.
You bet.
Are the Hawkeyes losing the strength game?
Well, I mean,
I didn't think so today, Trav, but I think it. When you look at what the Hawkeyes used to be,
is it the strength game or is it the mental game? Because I think Doyle played a big part in the mental game too. I think he pushed them to a completely different level. You know, I've avoided.
That's really good, Trav. I think you're right about that.
I have avoided this for the last several years. When we were on the old station, and even moving here, a lot of people have called about Chris Doyle, and I've never dipped my toe into that argument because I'm like, you got to just hold on. You got to see the dividends. But I think it's much more than just lifting weights and how much you bench press. I think when when Keith Murphy from Iowa Everywhere interviewed Chris Doyle a couple years ago or a year ago, you got to listen to him, and there is it's about people, right? And there's only a handful that don't like Chris Doyle, and I'm not going to get into the stories and all that stuff, but the stories are, I mean, the guy pushed you mentally. And the truth is, to be an elite athlete, you have to be pushed mentally. It's not just a physical game. It is a mental game. And you have to think you are absolutely better than the guy across from you. And you're going to crush that person. And you're going to do everything you can to dominate that person. 515-517-2303. Let's go back to the phones. Who's this?
This is Doug.
Hey, Doug. Welcome to the
Denver.
Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. Calling from Denver. All right.
Thanks for taking my call, guys. You guys have probably already said this. I just had a quick question. Who won the time of possession?
I can tell you that right now. Iowa won the time of possession 32-39 to 27-21.
32 to 27,
okay.
5 more minutes of possession. Okay.
Iowa ran more plays, ran 69 plays to 62 plays.
Yeah, there for a while, heading into halftime, I think my thought was in my head, I was controlling this game.
They were.
They had
18 minutes of time of possession in the first half.
Yeah. Indiana was their offense for a while there was not able to get on the field.
You go to that touchdown drive late in the second half. I even did this. I did a live shot on X and talked about that touchdown drive was quintessential Iowa, right? It was 11 plays, 73 yards, took 5.5 minutes off the clock. And that's when I'm like, oh, Iowa's got them where they wanted. I texted my buddy Dr. Rob in the fourth quarter hey, Iowa's doing Iowa things. Yeah. They're wearing them down. They're controlling the clock, and you're thinking this is playing right into Iowa's hands. That's why I'm probably even more disappointed is that this is the game they wanted. This is the game they knew if they were going to beat Indiana, they had to play this game. They played the game they wanted to play, and they ran more plays than Indiana. They had one less first down. They were 6 of 16 on third down. They were 1 of 2 on fourth down. And they controlled the clock. But they did not have more yards rushing, and they had more turnovers. And I always say, if you're going to win the game, you better win the running battle, especially if you're Iowa.
Yeah, that's what's so disappointing. They controlled the game there for a good long while. I was waiting for Indiana to get into offense mode and start that passing attack and start scoring quickly, and it never happened. Mistakes happen. That's kind of how things unfolded. But anyway, I appreciate the statistics and giving me the time of possession. Just a disappointing day, but maybe this will lead to something good. I don't know.
Thanks, Doug. Maybe this will lead to something good.
That's what we have. All we have is next week, Ross.
All we have is hope, man.
Selling hope now. That's where we're at. We're selling hope.
Listen, something we should mention also. Eric points this out in the chat. turned on ISU. They're looking like a playoff team. They are up 15-0 right now on unbeaten Arizona, and looking really good. I've got that game up here in the studio.
Yeah.
And,
that's why you see me backing up. I'm always looking.
They're
second. Yeah, I've got Iowa State on the big TV over there. It's second and goal. As you know, Iowa State's just dominating Arizona at this point, and scored their first touchdown, went for 2, then just and scored again and getting ready to knock on the door again.
And I think I'm a little bit behind because you said it's first and goal for the Cyclones?
Second goal.
Okay, because I just saw them get the interception, so that shows how far behind I am.
And now they just scored again. So I'm
up 22-0 on Arizona in the second quarter.
You know, and that's and Iowa State expects to be there. I think a question came earlier, and they said, how long does Beth wait? How long till Beth? I texted you today, and you never responded. But I said, Barry Alvarez is in town. Dan McCarney's in town. I go, is this the goodbye? Is this the goodbye? Is it like, hey guys, come on in, let's have the reunion of the '85 team? And I know it's the anniversary year, but is this like, hey man, this is going to be it when I'm done? This is it.
I like conspiracies.
I think isn't that the way I phrased it too?
You
Conspiracy thought.
You wrote to me, conspiracy theory. They're bringing in all these people. Kirk's last year. Could
5-1.
be, Trav. I mean, listen, the noise has only gotten louder from the last couple of years. We watched it, man. We watched this noise kind of turn up of, I'm kind of tired of Kirk Ferentz. And we would have got 5 years ago when people started calling in and saying, man, I don't think this is going to get any better. I don't think we're going to get to that mountaintop. We had other people call in and say, if Kirk Ferentz, you have no idea what those people are asking for. If Kirk Ferentz quits, it all falls apart. You don't know what you're talking about.
And that's not the case.
It's not. It's not. I mean, literally, people were like, nobody will donate money to the University of Iowa if Kirk Ferentz loses his job. Yeah, they will.
Once you start winning again, they will. Because you know what?
It's what we do. It's what fans do.
And you know what people with money want to do? They want to be around winners. They want to be around winners. And they don't cut you off until you start losing. I will say this, Ross, where I've changed. If there is ever there will be a change at some point. I mean, he's not going to coach forever. I don't know if I want somebody on the current coaching staff. I think that one of the questions is, are you willing to innovate? Are you willing to do what it takes to be a playoff team, or at least to compete for a playoff?
Travis, you know this from your experience. One of the problems with bringing somebody in is you have this unwarranted allegiance to that person. Bring in somebody new and they suck, get them out. Bring in somebody that you've had in-house for a long time and they struggle, you're going to go, oh, no, long leash. You
hang on to him.
We got to let this guy do his thing so that he can get back to an 8-win season. And then we'll get back to those Kirk Ferentz days that we all walked away from. No. What should be next is, all right, we've got the resources. We've got the brand. We want to see how great we can make this thing. We're not going to be Northwestern. We're not going to be Rutgers. We're not going to be Illinois and Indiana, because that's what we are right now. Right now, we compete with those teams. Man, we want to go compete with the big dogs. So who do we got to get to bring in here? Now, you can make a big mistake. Look at what happened with K-State. You can bring in the hot coach that's going to guarantee to bump, ba-dum. Oh, Kansas, go bring in Les Miles. He's bump, ba-dum.
But then you go get a guy like Lance Leipold, and it turns around almost instantaneously.
Then you get your Kurt Signetti. Then you get your Art Briles. So Travis, I think that's what a great question. I saw this one pop up, and I want to go back to this because, again, it came from our friend Senorita Puffer. Oh, man, I'm going to miss it. Senorita Puffer, I found it. Can the Iowa fan base handle a rebuild? That might be rough.
You're going to have to.
Got to buckle up, Senorita Puffer, because it could be rough.
And you had to for Kirk Ferentz. But at the end of the day, It took Kirk Ferentz, 3 years, 4 years? It does take some time. I think you can do it faster here. It's good to see our buddy Joe Woodley, head coach of Drake, already getting some love.
Yeah, I'd love that. I love Coach Woodley, man. That dude would be amazing. That dude would be amazing. And then imagine the Woodleys having to be Hawkeye fans. Oh.
517-230-3. Let's go to Ryan. Ryan, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. What's going on, Ryan?
So I guess what do we need? Do we need more money, to be a program that can, contend for the playoff and, win 10, 11 games a year? Do we need more money? Is Beth Getz serious about, running a foot or being in charge of a football program that can do that sort of thing? I just don't know how do we take the next step from where we are.
This is going to make a lot of people mad. I'm giving Beth Getz a pass. She has to ride this one out. She does, just because of the popularity of Coach Ferentz. We've said it before, and I'm not going to backtrack on that. Kirk Ferentz gets to, whether you like it or not, after 27 years, he gets to decide when he goes. Do I like that? Not necessarily, but you're not going to. Now you're going to say, well, Oklahoma State just fired a guy who went to school there, who played there, was an assistant coach there, who's been a head coach there for 21 years. Yeah, but T. Boone Pickens isn't alive anymore, and everybody who hired him isn't there, and he was 58. Kirk's on the back end. We're talking 3-4 years tops left. It's a different situation. I'm going to give Beth Getz. Beth Getz fired Brian Ferentz. I'll give her that. That took some balls.
Yeah, I guess I agree. I agree. We waited out with Kirk Ferentz, and hopefully that doesn't take that long. I love Kirk. Build him a statue, everything. But I'm a big wrestling fan too, and wrestling's the same way. But she's probably, when is she going to fire the Brands brothers? It's just, I just wonder if she's actually serious about, is she just worried about the athletics making money, or, does she want to win championships?
I think she wants to win championships. Beth Getz has been on the Rush Radio Show with us before. I think she's pretty dialed in. I just think this is a very unique situation. Let's use the Iowa women's basketball team as an example. And we talked about this, when you have success, the expectation changes. Lisa Bluter put a lot of pressure on Jan Jensen. By the way, Jan Jensen going to be joining us on the Rush Radio Show Monday morning. If you would like to hear our interview with Jan Jensen, she's going to be with us live on Monday morning. Thank you. But we were talking about, somebody called the other day and said, Iowa's one of the blue bloods now. I don't know if I would put Iowa women's basketball in a blue blood, but they're playing UConn. The expectation is, you get to the Final Four now. You are the University of Caitlin Clark. You've tasted that success not once, 2 years in a row.
The fact that a fan would say, well, we're now a blue blood. Well, okay, that means the expectation is to be in the national championship hunt every year.
You're talking UConn. You're talking Tennessee. You're talking Stanford.
But that's an indication of where the expectations are from the fan base. Is that reasonable? No. But that's an indication of where the expectations are from this fan base. Kirk Ferentz does not get fired.
Is it a money thing?
No, and I wrote that down because I want to get back to that, Ryan. I promise you, even though they will scream at you that money will solve the problem, just like they do with public schools, that ain't it. It ain't the money. They've got the cash.
So then we just got to, like I said, we just basically got to wait till Kirk's done.
Right now, what we got, Ryan, is you got to hope. You got to hope that they beat Wisconsin. And then you got to hope that they can compete with Penn State and Oregon. And then you got to hope that they beat USC. And then you got to hope that they beat Minnesota and Michigan State and Nebraska. And then you got to hope that because I'm telling you, it's not money. I'll say it again. Kirk Ferentz is a great coach. Great coach. He is an 8 to 10 win coach in the Big Ten every year. Solid. Rack it up. 8 to 10. we have realized over these past couple of years that as a fan base, that's just not enough. We want more.
And
We're
I'll tell
paying
you,
more.
And if you win, you know what follows? More money.
Yeah, they won't have to ask for more money if they get to the college football playoff. You're right.
Let's use Indiana's example. Do you think Indiana had more money than Iowa last year when Kurt Cignetti got the job? They said, "Hey, here's your pool to work with. Go get your guys." He went and found talent, got there, and you know what started rolling in after? He got a contract extension. He got a big raise. They're renovating the stadium. All of a sudden, money starts flowing because they go, "Oh,
I'll say
like
it again,
this."
Ryan. The money is there. It's the people. If you want to try to win more, Kirk Ferentz has had his opportunity, and he's done wonderful. This is why it's such a weird thing. I'm not trying to ride the fence. I think I'm with where 90% of Hawkeye fans are, and it sounds like maybe you are too, Ryan. I'm not wishing for the demise of Kirk Ferentz, but this is it. This is what we're going to get. It's in the last few years of this, I don't see. Sometimes an engine will run its best right before it blows.
Well, and that might have been 2015.
It might have been. Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, thanks for the phone call. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, like you guys said before, this is where we are. I mean, we're contending with the Minnesotas, Nebraskas, Wisconsin if they pick it up again. But I just want to be able to compete with the Oregons, the Penn States, those guys. And
you want to be relevant. You want to be relevant.
Right. I mean, hell, to be ranked at this point would be, amazing.
There's no reason an Iowa football team should not be ranked in the top 25 every single year. It has one of the biggest budgets in college football. It's a top 25 budget. You should be ranked in the top 25. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it, man.
Do they have a top 25 budget?
Yes, they do. I think it's a top 15 budget.
So it's not the money, man. I'm telling you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. 515-517-2303. Let's go back to the phones. Welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery. Who's this?
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, it's Jim from Des Moines.
Hey, Jim.
I'm glad that Ross Peterson brought up schools. What does Ross Peterson think about the loser superintendent, the illegal alien in the Des Moines schools?
Tune in Monday.
What do you think about
that's a Monday show. Tune in Monday,
Jim.
Tune in Monday to the Rush Radio Show from 6 to 8.
Thoughts.
Ross has thoughts, but it's not
Ross
the show.
Peterson brought it up about schools.
No. What I said, no. But Jim, I didn't bring that. I didn't bring that up. What I was saying,
brought it up.
What I said was that thing of they will tell you that what will solve schools is more money. They will tell you that every college, every school is going to tell you we need more money. We just need more money. If we have more money, we can get all those things right.
Did you hear what the Des Moines?
Well, I know all about it. Yes, and again, we'll talk about it on Monday, Jim.
On Monday, Jim. Did
you hear what the Des Moines School Board said?
On him,
they gave him more money.
I don't know what you're waiting for there.
Drew, stay on hold. We're going to get to your phone call when we come back. It is the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. Again, we'll be back right after this.
With the new Blackout Scratch ticket from the Iowa Lottery, you can win the game day experience of your dreams.
That'll be $5.
Enter for a chance to win a VIP experience cheering on the Hawkeyes from the Ironman Suite at Kinnick Stadium.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You like listening to Travis and Ross talk about the Hawkeyes, so tune in when they talk about everything else. Listen to The Rush with Travis and Ross every day on therushradio.com, YouTube, the TuneIn app, and wherever you get your sports content.
Welcome back back to the Black and Gold Rush live from the Iowa Lottery Studios. Don't forget the Iowa Lottery has launched a brand new Iowa Blackout Scratch ticket. It's available at retailers statewide. It's a gorgeous matte black finish. Lottery players have the opportunity to win up to $50,000 instantly on a scratch ticket. And if you're not a winner, enter your non-winning Iowa Blackout Scratch ticket into your VIP club account for a chance to win tickets to a Hawkeye football game of your choice. So just go to iowalottery.com/VIP, sign up for free, and start playing today at retailers all across the state. The Iowa Blackout Scratch ticket from the Iowa Lottery. 515-517-2303. Drew's been waiting on hold. Drew, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. What's going on?
Hey, guys. No, I just wanted to talk more about the money distribution across the football program.
Okay.
Like I said in my previous comments, it's not all about the quarterback. What if we spent that money on a shutdown corner, linebacker, Jack Campbell comparison? What if we spread that out?
Boy, let's step back and Drew, good to hear from you, buddy. When was the last time we heard about a big NI deal for somebody that wasn't a quarterback?
Because we're always thinking skill positions. We're thinking wide receiver. We're thinking running back. We're thinking quarterback. Right?
Travis Hunter would be a good one. Yeah. I think that was that part of it. Yeah, Trav, you're right. But that's to Drew's point, right? We're always thinking about those skill positions, but
yeah, you almost have to play Moneyball with NIL. You have to find value.
The market right now in these first couple of years has been for quarterbacks. I'm sure there have been transfers because let's not just talk about NIL, because of course we could look at like Texas A&M and Miami and those places where everybody's getting paid and say, well, yeah, there's linebackers and cornerbacks, and let's talk about transfer portal. I just haven't. The market has been, and most of the attention has been on quarterbacks. I think that's a really good point. And in fact, Drew, it even is a supplement to that thing I was saying earlier. A quarterback is not what's missing from this Hawkeye football team. You're not going to bring in a wide receiver 100%. And it's going to make the Hawkeyes a playoff team. But bringing in a great linebacker, man, that'd make a difference right now. These linebackers have struggled. Bringing in a great lockdown corner, holy cow. And then that provides depth, and we can move some guys around. The secondary would be a lot better with something like that.
Absolutely, sir. Good talking to you guys.
Good talking to you, buddy.
Drew.
Talk to you soon, man.
But that changes the perception of meaning, are you willing to turn over major parts of your roster? I don't think Kirk Ferentz is willing to change over a good part of his roster. I don't think you're going to have programs, whether you like it or not. It's the world you live in. You can hate the transfer portal all you want, but there's going to be programs that bring in 20 new guys every year. They're going to bring in 30 new guys every year. They're going to shuffle them in and out. Can you play? Can you not play? And you have to go find value. And Ross, because. And I don't know how many other teams are putting much value on these other positions. Meaning that if there's no money to be made, or if it's a lateral move money wise, well, you went to that school for a reason, right? So you're like, oh, I like the coach. I'm not going to make any more money just by leaving, so I'm going to stay put. So you wonder how many of those positions stay put just based on there's no value there.
Here, I want to share this and comment on it while we're waiting for that call to come in. Andrus wrote in, the Kirk hate after this game is a little insane to me. The offense was doing enough to win when Mark went down. The defense definitely did enough. We had the horses to stick with a really good team. Andrus, you're absolutely right about all of those things about the game. I think that the Kurt backlash, or the Kurt hate, as you call it, or the Kurt criticisms come from a couple of things. Number one, the clock mismanagement. There are a few times in that game that the clock's mismanaged. Going into the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter, right before the field goal is missed, throwing that screen pass in that fashion, that was, I mean, again, even Phil Simms was saying, there's no way they throw the football here. They got to get the clock to the 2-minute warning. And then to basically end the game with 3 timeouts. Now, I know he burned those 3 timeouts when Indiana had the ball. They were pointless. They were absolutely pointless. They burned all 3 timeouts, and Indiana still snapped the ball to end the game. They were pointless. You should have used those timeouts as you were trying to get your backup quarterback down the field. Should have called timeout, brought him to the sideline, talked him out, maybe call a couple of plays from that point instead of on that first down play racing up there and racing into the next play that ends up being an incompletion that puts you then behind the sticks. Kirk Ferentz mismanaged part of this game today. That's the first part of why there's some criticism today. But the other part of it is that much bigger conversation. Kirk Ferentz is an 8 to 10 win coach. This year, that's going to be hard to get. It's
going to be hard to get to 7. It's going to be hard to get to 7.
Going to have to pull off some great upsets to get to that 8-win mark this year.
And then, how big of an attraction are you to outsiders to come in?
You've spent you spent your money to bring in a quarterback on a one and done. He gets 1 year to be the starting quarterback, and then that's it. So there are some things I think it's okay to sit back and go, darn, they played so good today against a great team. You lost at home to Indiana. And if that doesn't, as a Hawkeye fan, make you go, I know it's Indiana. I know you lost at home to Indiana. And you were
first time since 2004.
And you're expected to.
515-517-2303. Is this Kip? Kip, welcome to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery.
Good evening, gentlemen. Travis, I got to disagree a little bit. I love Ferentz. Everybody's hate toward it, Ferentz. I had like 5 years ago. I've kind of gotten past that now. In this wild west of college football, I think it's passing by. He's a very, very good coach, but I think it's just passing by, and I think Guess just has to pull the plug. I can't see him getting 7-5 was my guess going into the season, and I see him going that same way.
Ross, you were shaking your head there.
No, I think that because I was agreeing with I don't. It's so weird. Beth Getz is not going to fire him,
and that's
Beth
what
Getz
I was
is not going to fire him.
I know she won't, but I think she kind of has to. I mean, you're running this big program. We want a winning program. Yeah. You know what? I think the grace has been since 2015. He's struggled. Now I love the fact that he can put some people in the NFL. But I think the way the college game is going, him being a very good coach is just not good enough. I think this is where he's at. This is all it's going to be. And so I think she can say your grace was the last 5 years. We gave you a chance to pull it around. Just haven't done it. I think you try to do as much class as you can. Say it's time for us to move on and then go to that next coach.
All right, Kip, thanks for the phone call. Yep, thanks
Kip.
for the phone call, man. He brings up something, and I don't fall into this. If you never put it wouldn't happen, but if you were competing for national championships in college football playoffs, and you never put a player in the NFL, are you okay with that? Because I am.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
100.
Absolutely. And I will tell you this. Yes. I want the Hawkeyes to win. I don't give a crap about the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I don't give a crap who plays for the Colts. I don't.
You play for the Vikings.
Yeah.
I don't care. You're not wearing my colors anymore.
I love George Kittle. You know what I loved about George Kittle? He was a Hawkeye.
Yes.
I love it that Kirk Ferentz puts guys in the NFL. I'm with you, Travis. If you said to me, and you take any Hawkeye fan and say, hey, here's the deal. You get to win a national title, but no guys get drafted. If they don't say sign me up for that, they're not a Hawkeye fan. They're an NFL fan. They're a fan of watching salaries and guys make money. I like that. I like seeing people make money. I love it. I'm a Hawkeye fan. I want them to win. Michelson wrote this in. He says, losing happens, Ross. You can't win them all. You're absolutely right. But I want to talk about something real quickly here that I saw today. I saw Danny Cannell on a tweet, and he was talking about the parity in college football. Travis, did you see this thing by chance?
I did not.
He's talking about how, hey, guys, there's this huge, monumental shift happening under our feet in college football that nobody's talking about. There might not be any undefeated teams. We have so much parity. We have so many teams that are so close in talent. Maybe we'll have a one or two. Maybe we'll have a couple of one-loss teams or two-loss teams. There might be three-loss teams, a slew of three-loss teams that we're all talking about.
You were way ahead of this because when Nick Saban was complaining, you were saying you're upset because you don't get to control the narrative anymore. You don't get to control everything. And what we're finding out is there's a lot of teams out there with money, but there are a lot of teams out there that did it the right way. I know that sounds really crazy, but I think that's starting to come true. I mean, today you had Ole Miss beat LSU. Missouri's 4-0. They're up 21-6 on UMass right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
and so you're right. You don't have to win them all, Michelson. I totally agree with you, man. You don't have to win them all. You got to win enough to stay in that conversation. And the parity in the league has allowed it now so that it should be, quote unquote, easier to get some of this talent and compete at that level. And the Hawkeyes aren't. We're just short of it, man. We're just short of it. We're what was the final score today? We're
20
points,
to 15.
We're 5 points short of it, man.
Ryan asked this. Did we come into the game just accepting the loss and then we get our hearts ripped out when we just know it was going to end in a loss?
It's the way it happened, Ryan. It's kind of like the field storming. Illinois stormed the field today, beating USC, but they did it because of how they won.
Yes.
If they would have beat USC the way that they were beaten last weekend, you wouldn't see a field storming. Why does this one feel the way it does? You nailed it, Ryan. Had this game been the game I was afraid it was going to be, if this game would have been a 45-14 game, Travis and I probably would have been talking about Des Moines Public Schools here on the show. But it's the way that it happened. It's the way that you were so close and you felt that win. And with 2.5 minutes left, I'm watching Curt Cignetti on the field and I'm going, we are going to ruin this guy's day. He's so angry. Oh, I'd love to hear what he's screaming at his assistant coaches. And
you could see the red in his face.
And 4 minutes later on my watch and 90 seconds later on the clock, Indiana has the ball and is marching down the field and is ready to take the win.
And the difference in that game wasn't the physicalness. It wasn't a better offense. It was a team that handled the pressure of being tied late in the game.
Good
Indiana did not back down with 2 minutes to play. They went and scored a touchdown. Iowa gets the ball back, and they had plenty of time and plenty of timeouts to score. It was a different team.
And went with dink and dunk again.
And poor clock management.
And Travis, truthfully, played in a sense that they only needed a field goal. Played in a sense that, oh, man, if we can just get up to the 35 or 40, to the point that at one point, I knew they were down by 7. And I even said to you, oh, man, Trav, think they only got to get about 25 more yards. And you said, Ross, they have to score.
They got to score a touchdown, Ross.
Well, then shit, why are we playing this way?
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole thing. So, well, they are off next week. It'll give everybody time to cool down. They're going to go to Wisconsin on October, what is that, 13th, 14th?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's 13th day. Sure, something like that?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Just running through some scores real quick in the Big Ten if you haven't been paying attention. We'll just get to those real quick before we sign off because Ross is going to see Eric Church tonight. You got cowboy boots on? Yeah, no cowboy boots? No cowboy boots?
I don't even own cowboy boots.
I do. Got a couple pair.
Well, that's because you're a real cowboy.
I'm a real cowboy.
You got to have them shit kickers when you get out on the ranch.
You know what else I have? I got a cowboy hat. Penn State leading Oregon right now, 3-0. That game's in the second quarter. Ohio State, you were worried about that. You thought Washington was going to give Ohio State a game. It was a better game than I thought it was going to be. Ohio State won 24-6. Illinois needed that last-second field goal to beat USC 34-32. Minnesota over Rutgers 31-28. And a bad football game between really bad teams. UCLA lost again at Northwestern 17-14. Ugh. That's bad.
Remember, though, you don't want to face them teams when they fire a coach.
Well,
UCLA is a different story.
Yeah, but there's another case. You bring in the number one quarterback, Nico Amalavala. He's going to change the trajectory of UCLA football doesn't guarantee success, folks. It takes more than just one player. It takes 11. And you got to build up value around them. Let that be known.
And by the way, again, they had the wrong head coach. That's the guy. You don't just get to plug and play and go, all right, somebody get in there and do this thing. That's why this is why every Hawkeye fan has that same rhythm. They go, oh, man, I'm really glad Kirk Ferentz gave us the last 25 years. He was great. He was great for that job. I want more. I'm being greedy. I want more.
We had somebody on the chat earlier asked, when can they start calling our show on Monday morning? 6 a.m. is when we go on the air. Same number, 515-517-2303. Also on Monday morning, Jan Jensen, head coach of the Iowa women's basketball team, scheduled to join us. I think it's going to be about 7:30 she's going to join us. So tune in Monday morning for the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. A fun Black and Gold Rush. Glad you're able to join us tonight. We're going to be back next week. I don't know if we'll go a full 2 hours, maybe hour and a half, but there's other college football we can talk about, other stuff going on in the Big Ten. Yes.
Do want to tell you, wrote an offer and got it accepted yesterday with Gary Presnall. So
yes.
looking to buy a house, give me a call. I'll help you, and we'll get you in touch with Gary Presnall, get you pre-approved. Refinancing, call GP.
And in all seriousness, too, this show doesn't happen without the Iowa Lottery. We're live from the Iowa Lottery studios. Go get yourself some Mega Millions, some Powerball, and, of course, those blackout scratch-off tickets, and Gary Presnall. It's great to have them on board for the Black and Gold Rush. They make this possible so Ross and I can come on each and every week with you. Do us a favor. Tell somebody. Tell other Hawkeye fans. Tell other college football fans about the show, and we're here right after kickoff each and every week. We'll let you know what time we're going to be on the air next week with another Black and Gold Rush live from the Iowa Lottery Studios.
She's on the 17, the 45, the 29, and she scores big cash prizes from the Iowa Lottery by matching her numbers to the winning numbers on the new Iowa Blackout Scratch Ticket. Now she's entering for a chance to win an Ironman Suite experience at Kinnick Stadium, plus other fun VIP prizes. That's the best touchdown dance I've ever seen. Make the biggest play of the season today. Enter and see rules at ialottery.com/VIP.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time homebuyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You like listening to Travis and Ross talk about the Hawkeyes, so tune in when they talk about everything else. Listen to The Rush with Travis and Ross every day on the rushradio.com, YouTube, the TuneIn app, and wherever you get your sports content.